Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to overall talk on my level of trust with people that I've used to beef with before. Because I know that there have been times, I just responded to a comment today. Actually, like moments before I had recorded this podcast episode, responding to somebody that I had beef with. And he was, just overall, like, watching videos about me. And, it's like, if you're a fan of somebody and you see that person making a video about somebody that they don't necessarily get along with and have issues with, then, you're going to follow in their footsteps and stuff. You see that a lot amongst the content creating community, just any, like, creative community and stuff. So... But anyways, no, like, it was chill, though. Like, he had left out, he, just overall said, like, hey, it's like, I was an immature kid. And I'm like, and that's the thing where it's like, fam, like, it's nothing, I mean, I guess, like, well, I don't know, like, a part of me wants to say it's nothing to be ashamed of, because I feel like at one point in time, like, everybody was an immature kid. But I feel like that there are life lessons that you should have dealt with as a kid to overall, like, keep you out of that area of being an immature kid. But not everybody goes through that, so I can't be mad at him about that. I can't be mad at him for being a kid and stuff. So, I mean, like, kids do that. Kids, they're immature. Kids is either going to be immature for the right reasons or the wrong reasons. And I know people are probably asking, like, what do you mean, like, a kid can be immature for the right reasons? For an example, the podcast episode that I was talking on not too long ago, where I had mooned the racist lady. In my opinion, I felt like that I was being immature, but for the right reason, Like, it's something that I wouldn't overall do today. I will use my words, but if they were to take pictures of me, I'm like, hey, you know what? I haven't moved nobody in a while. But anyways, moving on. So, but no, like, overall, like, I wanted to talk on that, like, the level of trust that I have towards people I had problems with before, because I know there will be at times where they'll reach out to me and they will want to squash the beef. And I do know, like, in some cases that, they're doing it for the right reasons. But then after that whole situation with the guy on Twitch, it's made it a little bit more difficult for me to accept the fact that they want to be a fan of me. Like, it's one thing to want to, like, squash any, like, past, like, and that's the thing where it's like, I guess I should overall know the difference between those that was making videos, between those that were, they were just watching and stuff, or maybe leaving comments. But I feel like there's, like, a difference between the content creator and the fan, like, the difference between both parties, because the person that I had problems with on Twitch, he's a fan, he's not a content creator. And then the guy that reached out to me, he reached out to me some months ago, and he was a content creator. I remember him making videos on me. And what I've noticed is that when the content creator reaches out and they want to squash stuff, that is genuine. Like, they really want to squash things between, you and that person. But with a fan, it's kind of like half and half, because I'm like, well, I didn't know you in the first place. So, like, that's how I feel like a situation should go. Like, if there was a fan from that community, reaching out to me or whatever, it's like, I feel like it should be that and that only. But it's like any of that fan stuff, I'm like, I don't trust it, because I've talked on that before. And this happened to me, like, and I should have, like, learned my lesson and stuff, from back then. And it's just wasn't thinking about that situation. I try to, like, forget, like, all the, like, cringy beefs that I've been in and stuff. So, but no, I've talked on it before, where I had back in 2015, I got into it with this content creator. And one of his fans has stopped being a fan of him to be a fan of me. And, I mean, he's a kid. At the time, he was a kid. I would imagine now, like, he's in his adult years and stuff. But anyways, but no, like, he overall was going, like, he was, like, wishy-washy. Like, he was going back and forth. And, overall, like, it was just annoying dealing with stuff like that. And so I feel like now, like, it's done unchanged to where people will pretend that they're a fan of you, but they overall, like, they just gonna be doing things to, like, get you upset and riled up and things. So, or just to overall, like, get you to have some sort of reaction to them. And I wanted to overall talk on that because I never understood. It's like, fam, I don't want to be bothered by any of the fans, the content creators. Like, if they still got some past beef or, you know, tension with me, it's like, fam, keep that to yourself. I don't care. I don't care how you feel. I don't. At the end of the day, I'm in my own lane, focused on myself, focused on, like, if I'm streaming, I'm focused on the game that I'm playing. If I'm recording a video, I'm focused on that video. If I'm recording a podcast, TikTok, I'm focused on that. I'm not focused on no beef. I'm not focused on any of that stuff. Unless I'm telling a story to people and I'm just trying to remember the details. But other than that, it's like, bro, I'm not trying to have no future beefs with these people. And I guarantee if I would have been that person that's, you know, quick to block and ban and all that stuff, these guys would still be on my, you know, in my channel, on my channels, on my TikTok accounts, like everywhere, bro. Just trying to, like, eat up whatever energy I got. And it's like, bro, people ain't got time for that. Have you ever heard of hard work? Like, have you ever heard of working? Like, do that. Go get a job or just find a hobby to where, like, you're not going to be over here being, like, that cringy on the internet and stuff. But, like, it trips me out that people will do stuff like that they'll pretend to be a fan, but overall, like, they're not. And it's like, well, why go through all that trouble? Why, like, because my thing is, like, I feel like that there are people on the internet that are just not overall, like, they're not honest. And I feel like it stems all the way to them not being honest with themselves. And so I feel like when a person's, obviously, if they ain't gonna be honest with themselves, they ain't gonna be honest with others. So I feel like that, you know, before you try to, like, have some, like, stuff going down with me, it's like, figure out who you are as a person and be honest with it. Be truthful with it. Don't try to camouflage yourself in the mix of, like, all my other fans just so you can, like, because I'm saying, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think you understand that or realize that, but a content creator can tell the difference between somebody that genuinely supports them and supports what they got going on to somebody that's just there for the wrong reasons. Now, I feel like, you know, I was a little bit late to the party and things, but now I do feel like that it's like, if somebody, I'm just saying, like, for the next time, you know, if somebody were to come to my stream and be like, oh, hey, used to be a fan of this content creator that you had beef with, and I'm like, hey, look, don't even come here trying to start nothing, all right? If you came here for the right reasons, okay, but if you're here to just get reactions and to just start up trouble and problems and all that stuff, you take that elsewhere. But I'm like, here, right now, or it's just I'm most likely not going to be, you know, really responsive to them. Like, if they write something in chat, I'm like, I'm going, like, unless I know, like, you are there with right reasons, then it's like, okay. But I'm like, the thing is I feel like in some cases, though, where it's not even like in some, like, I feel like it's just overall a common thing where if you had problems with the person, like, yeah, you gonna squash all that stuff, but you ain't gonna want to be involved in their life. You know, like, especially if it's, like, been super late into the, and it's like, I'm sitting down, I'm thinking of all this stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish I had known that, like, you know, back then and things, but I'm just, like, just now realizing it. But if that stuff has dragged on for years, it's like, fam, you're not going to want to be friends with that person. You're not going to want to be cool with that person unless, like, that's something that you were thinking of all the way in the beginning, but just randomly out the blue. Like, honestly, sit down and think about it. For those that are in my situation right now, where if you have somebody in your life and they've trying to, all of a sudden, they had all these, like, years of just beefing and having problems with you. Like, I can understand if it's some kid stuff, because it's like, as kids, you know, your mind ain't fully developed. They don't know what they're doing. They're halfway crazy and things. So, but as an adult, like, when you get older and things and your mind is, like, somewhat or, like, kind of, like, at, like, that, like, low, like, not, or high percentage of, like, development and things, and, you know, and that person just beef with you, like, all this time, and then just randomly want to just all of a sudden be cool with you. They're either going to church, or they're up to something bad. Like they're trying to do something and they're trying to do something different. But those are the only two reasons. They went to church, they realized what they were doing was wrong, and they're all like, God ain't gonna like that, and I'm not trying to answer for that when I leave this world. So yeah, it's like it's either that or they're all like, oh well, I've always done like the nitpicking and being petty and doing this and doing that. Let me do something different. Let me make it seem like that I'm cool with them, but I'm just gonna lure them into a trap of just, you know, constantly doing something to upset them and to annoy them. Because that's the thing where I don't think a lot of people realize that, is that, you know, it's worse when you're cool with somebody, or, you know, you think you're cool with somebody and then they do things to upset you. It's worse that way than it is when it's some random person. When it's some random person trying to upset me, I'm like, fam, like, you're weird, and I'm gonna go about my business. But if it's somebody that I'm cool with, it's like, fam, what's wrong with you? Like, no, you're gonna be questioning that situation, like, what is wrong with you? Now I have to say, like, with me, I handle situations a little bit differently. Like, if I know that my friend is trying to upset me, it's all like, I'm gonna do something to upset them first, you know? And I mean, it's even like that with strangers. I guess I'm like, strangers and friends, you know, people that I'm cool with, they ain't no different. I'm like, you try to say and do things to upset me, it's all like, fam, I'm like, I at times, like, I guess, like, with, like, closer people that I know, I'll hold back, because I'm like, if I really want to say some stuff, I'll have you crying, all right? So I'm like, I suggest you just be careful on your choice of words when they come up out your mouth and things, because I honestly, that's like one thing that I just overall developed throughout the years. It's all like, fam, this, like, you know, words can speak louder than actions at times. Like, you know, overall, it's like, I know that I have said things to people and it's upset them, and I'm like, and they'll look at others to just be like, did you just hear what he just said to me? And it's all like, well, fam, it wasn't like I threw the first punch. I was standing here minding my own business. So, like, like, I'm telling you guys right now, ask anybody that knows me, I keep to myself. The only time when people will see me is, yeah, if we out in public and just, you know, give that universal head nod, or if they see me posting about content creating stuff. But other than that, I keep to myself. I don't be bothering people. I don't be, you know, like, trying to, like, get in the mix of it. I just keep to myself. That's one thing where it's like, when I started learning about introverts and extroverts and all that stuff, it's like, fam, I am like the reigning, defending, universal champion of introverts. Like, I'm saying, like, I keep to myself, okay? The only time, yeah, so like, if I'm posting something content creating related, I'm doing it for entertainment purposes, and that's it, okay? That is it, all right? But anyways, back on the main objective of this podcast episode. I feel like I just kind of was like, you know, like, because I'm like, you know, there's like so much that you can talk on this topic and things, and so I was like, okay, let me, you know, talk on some other things, and then kind of just, you know, go back and forth and stuff. But is it possible for me to trust people that I have beef with? Like yes and no. I say that because I'm like, you know, if it's somebody that's a content creator, then I'm like, okay, I'm like, maybe. But and then again, at the same time, you know, it is kind of hard to trust them. So it's like a maybe and a no, because I'm like, yeah, it's a 50-50 chance of that person's like actually wanting to be cool with me. And then no is because I'm not like, well, look at how these guys overall acted. Like, there's some that was in the mix. Like, for an example, this guy that reached out to me some months ago, I don't think he had ever said anything racist or crazy towards me. I think for the most part, he was just making videos like overall echoing what others were saying about me and stuff. So he was just overall like, he was just there to enjoy the ride. I'm like, hey, I'm saying, like, you know, it's just things that people do. I'm not mad at him for it. I don't have no hatred towards him over it and stuff. Like he said, he was a kid at the time, so it's like, you know, kids, like I said, kids are gonna do some random stuff. So somebody like him, like, you know, he's growing, he's understanding overall, like, you know, just how like messed up stuff like that is to a person. He's getting older, he's maturing as a person, and that's somebody where I'm like, I see really good things in that kid. I honestly do. I see really good things in him. I'm all like, I know he is gonna be like, overall, like, yeah, if this if those situations like ever come to light where like people find like old things he's posted or find old things that he said and done, or even if he comes out, I feel like that it's you're being much more of an adult when you go out and you talk about those things. So like, let's say if there was ever a point in time where we're sitting down, because I ain't gonna have no reason to bring any of that stuff up. I'm just gonna be like, hey yo, we met through content creating. But if he's all like, no, like, you know, it's like overall like, yeah, I was supporting a person that had problems with them and things, but I was a kid at the time. I got older, I matured as a person. It's stuff like that where I'll look at a person and have respect for them when they're actually doing some genuine and like, you know, authentic stuff. But I'm like, if they just, you know, if they just there just to get reactions and just try to make me angry and things, I'm all like, fam. That's why, like, now, like, if people were ever join my stream and they're all like, oh, I used to be a fan, because I'm saying, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, well, you're kind of like blowing your cover when you're saying things like that. Like, after that guy told me that, it was like just something just didn't seem right about it. And then based off of all the other like weird things he was saying, then it just all kind of just started adding up. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, I know now that this guy is weird. And yeah, just overall just had to ban him one day. But then it's like with somebody like the guy that reached out to me a few months ago. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, you know, somebody like him, he's chilled. He's somebody where I'm all like, hey, you know what? Like, you keep doing what you doing, it's all like, you're gonna end up being in much more better places than where you're at right now and stuff. Like, you know, being a small, more so talking with content creating. It's like, you're gonna grow to be a big, and inspiring content creator and stuff, where it's like, hey, used to be this cringy kid, now I'm this, like, adult that's, like, motivating all these different people across the world and stuff, so... But anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 43 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off of your first purchase. And then that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.